Hi, welcome to Astrology for Gann Traders. My name is Olga. This is going to be the final YouTube video that I will be producing in 2013. I'm calling it Fractal Planetary Matrix. It's just a short video to highlight some more advanced techniques that are actually hidden in Gann's writings. If you have access to some of his private letters or even his private ephemeris, you'll know that he actually wrote about certain ways of determining time and price, and I'm going to be including this in my new DVD, which will be released, due to be released in February in 2014, so it's in production at the moment. Now, Gann writes that everything has a positive, a negative and a neutral reaction, and we know the basis of this is the Trinity, when we get a male and female and a neutral, or sometimes it's a hermaphrodite. If you see any of the ancient Hermetic imagery from Egypt, we have Mercury usually in the middle of the sun and the moon, and he's always represented as a hermaphrodite, with both sexes and neutral. So, and if you see anything, any imagery involving alchemy, you'll know what I'm talking about. But when we divide the circle by 4, we actually end up with 3, and we get cardinal, fixed and mutable. Now, you should know this if you've done my beginner's course about harmonics and what happens when we divide a circle astrologically. And this is really, cardinal, fixed and mutable is the basis of a lot of Gann's work, and understanding it is those 3 qualities are actually essential for understanding harmonics and midpoints. And as you can see, the picture I have before you is a dial, which is actually a 360 dial with the planets around it. And you can see the symmetry with not Gann's, but Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. You can see the symmetry. Gann also has a quote that I want to move to, where he says it's actually connected to the 4th dimension. The square and the triangle form within a circle, which is a trine and a square. But there is an inner circle and an inner square, as well as an outer square and circle, which prove the 4th dimension. So basically we can see here the 4th dimension is like a cube within another cube, but around those cubes are also circles. Okay, so what I'd like to show you is that some of Gann's work, which you don't really read about publicly because he didn't actually write about what he was doing astrologically in any of his books, but if you have read Tunnel Through the Air or Magic Word, or have some of his private letters that he had for his private students, he had very ingenious ways of finding time and price. And I will show you an example of what I've been working on. I'll just click out of that and go to here. What you can see here is actually based on Gann's work, which I've developed a planetary module, if you like, or model, where we're using very sophisticated harmonics of planets as a time and price indicator, and you can see how these periods of time and also price are not regular. Now, planetary cycles are not regular. They are not cycles in terms of circles. They're not exact circles. They're actually elliptical. Now, ellipses are different. You know, this time here is more spiral looking, because there's a slight, with anything elliptical, there's slight movement. It's not, the center is not actually in the center. It's off center, and so you get different sizes of cycles. And you can see how some of these cycles are expanding while others are contracting at different rates, but all in proportion to the main area. So you can see how a lot of these, what I call midpoints between these lines, actually have quite a significant effect on the trend, and also the midpoints in terms of price have support and resistance quite clearly in some areas to the exact degree, which is amazing. And so what I'm looking at the moment, if we go to where this is on the S&P 500, we are going to be reaching a midpoint on the 6th of December, and at the moment price is just past the resistance level there, which is at 1797. So it's going to be interesting to see if that date actually has influences and if there is a changing trend. And anyway, thought you might be interested in looking at some more advanced techniques that I will be including in my new DVD next year. And thank you for listening.